High-Flo, high performance, 2.4 gallons per minute. Looks like I got some help tonight. Well guys, welcome back to Red River Living. It's about the 1st of March here, and we're about to get to spraying a bunch of the weeds here on the property. We have bought us a 40-gallon sprayer. This came from Tractor Supply, and it's set up to be able to hook up behind the tractor. But our pump has gone out on it, and then our spray nozzles seem to be clogged up or clogging up on us. So we're going to be rinsing this out, trying to get it cleaned up. But we know our pump has gone out, so we're going to go ahead and we've bought us a new pump here. It's the High-Flo, high performance, 2.4 gallons per minute, which is the same pump that was on it. So we've purchased this to replace this one on here. So I'm going to start replacing the pump. I'm going to get the tips changed out, and we're going to get a little bit of water in this. And then we've got this set up here with our cord. We've used this in the past before, and when we used it, we actually had set it on the tailgate of the truck and spraying food plots with. So we've got a basically extension cord for it that hooks up to the battery. We'll hook that up. We're going to try to get this running with just water before we start mixing our Roundup in it. That's one of the things I would suggest when you're using something like this, or any of your pump sprayers, really, you all the way down to your 1-gallon garden spray pumps. Put some water in them, pump them up, make sure they're going to hold pressure, make sure their nozzles are not stopped up before you ever add any of your poison to it. That way you don't waste none of your poison, you're just wasting a little bit of water. So hang out with us guys, we're going to get started here and start removing this. And I haven't watched anything on this, so I'm just going to be winging this a little bit, just seeing what we have to do here. I'm getting squirreled right now. We got sandhills coming back in. It's probably about that time of year that the sandhill cranes are fixing to start heading it back north, and they roost here on the river every year. They come down in the fall, and then when they go back in the springtime, they roost. So who knows? Maybe they get close enough, we'll get a little video of that. So guys, it's pretty easy to change these pumps out. As you can see, we got these quick clips right here. I just pulled those back, and that released it off of the end of the hoses and stuff that it's attached to. So now all we got to do is undo our wires right here. I'll probably go back in the shop and get us some new wire nuts in just a minute to hook that back up too. Oh, hot dog, the mounts are on there. I ain't got to take that apart. Well, it's going to be a little easier than I thought this was, guys. It was easier until I lost one of my screws. So before you get ready to screw it down in place, hook your 2 hoses right here in the end of it. Then you got your quick clips right here. I'll push those in to hold that in place. And then we'll put our screws in to hold it to the tank itself. Might have been easier to have got a regular screwdriver. If this works, guys, it's going to be one of the easiest swap out parts I've ever done, I think. Not sure why. Just going to have to look at this for a minute and just see why we had cut all this apart. I wish I could find a plug for it, but I don't know.
So we're missing the connector piece.
So it looks like I cut the wires last time to hook this up, and I was hoping I wouldn't cut the wires, but I don't have a joint for it. When we used this last time, it was in the pickup truck, and we had the window rolled down, the cable running from the battery into the truck window, and we could turn it on and off just sitting in the pickup truck. And that was why we had our on off switch. We just wired into it. And that's how we turned it on and off when we were in the field working. Well guys, we are out here still working with this spray tank, trying to get it up and running. We've ran into a few things. We tried to mate it up to the tractor, and I don't see those parts just right here in front of me. We're going to have to change out our pins right here. These are larger than what we needed, so we're going to change those out in a few minutes and get those hooked up. Our on-off switch was giving us a little bit of problems also. So we've got us a new on-off switch here, and we're going to get this cut out and replaced real quick. I was just sitting here talking to Jared. Seems like we've made a dozen trips back and forth to Tractor Supply. I sat down here and looked over, and I've bought the spray tips, but the spray housing, I forgot it today. So I'm gonna have to make another trip to town and stop by Tractor Supply and pick that up. I don't know what I'd do if Tractor Supply was 15, 20 miles away, but luckily for us, we got it right here in town, so we'll run back over there. They don't close till late, and hopefully, maybe by the time this afternoon gets here, the wind has died down quite a bit today. So we are going to try to get some spraying done today. This switch right here went bad for us in Mississippi, so we had changed this out, and somehow or another right here where these wires are, it's just making a poor connection for us. So we're going to change that out, and this switch here doesn't have wires to it. So we're going to have to put connectors on the ends right here. Once we put the connectors on the ends, then we will be able to screw it on right here in a minute. I tell you, here lately, it seems like we take one step forward and two steps backwards with stuff. Our initial use was we was going to use Granddaddy's tractor to spray with, and we've had starter problems with it. Ended up getting a new starter. Then we started having gas trouble. So we have ordered a new carburetor for Granddaddy's tractor and a new filter bowl. I was working with what started all this, I was working with the filter bowl. I dropped it and it hit the side of the tractor, and of course glass does not like to be dropped on stuff, and I think we got parts coming in this Thursday, so hopefully we're hoping to have Granddaddy's tractor back up and running hopefully by the end of the week. Alright guys, hopefully that gives us our on-off switch. In a minute, we'll get that hooked up to the thing. We'll get some tools. We're going to get those changed out on the spray rig, and then we'll be able to hook it up to the tractor. Once we get this hooked up to the tractor, I'll probably hook it up to the battery and just flip the switch, make sure we're coming on and off, and then I'm going to have to run up to Tractor Supply real quick. So, y'all just bear with us. Oh, wait there. Well, when all else fails, get a bigger wrench. That's a little more work than I thought that was going to be. But we're one step closer to getting it mounted up. I think if Jared wants to real quick, I'm going to pull the tractor forward. We're just going to get it set up on the tractor and see where we're at right there. Then I'm going to take off Tractor Supply real quick. Well, guys, right now we are routing our cable up through the tractor. My on-off switch I'm going to leave right here in the cab. And then we're going to stretch this through here. Probably grab some zip ties once we get this finally set up before we start taking off through the pasture. Get this hooked up to the battery itself. One thing about it, about compact tractors, there sure ain't no extra room anywhere. Thank goodness they're open and it's closed, guys. We have been running all over town, and we ran up to Tractor Supply and got back there in the back, guys, and when we got back there, they had sold out of all of these connectors right here. The guy made a comment. He said, somebody came in today and bought those. So it's that time of year people are out spraying. But anyway, we turned around, ran over to Ace Hardware real quick, and got to Ace. They really didn't have nothing. We whooped out of there, and Jared said, what about James? So a local farmer here in town, we got on the phone with him, called, and he said, guys, I probably got what you need. Meet me, and literally told us to meet him in the field. So we stopped by and helped him out for just a few minutes there. And anyway, he had us a brand new one of these connector pieces here. So what we're going to do, we had some issues with the sprayer and the nozzles were stopping up on us. So looks like I got some help tonight. I guess I better love on her a little bit. She's going to be all up in my business now. Ain't you, Betty Lou? Betty Lou. I mean, just all kinds of help. Don't you put your rear end up in my face. There, damn, just cry. You're sticking your claws in, baby. We got church tomorrow, so I don't know if we're gonna get any spraying done tomorrow or not. We'll have to see what time we get out and what this wind's doing. We're hoping to catch a day that it wasn't too windy. I think it's gonna kind of cool off on us a little bit here, so there we go. Got all of our tips changed out, and we should be able to flip the switch on this book. Hey, this is your pressure. Hey, right here on top it says pressure adjust. So by closing that off, now we've built pressure on the system. But that is putting some fluid out now. And that's why we didn't have no pressure. Now we got pressure. Guys, look like we're going to be up and running tomorrow. It's amazing. Hey, when you don't fool with this stuff enough, you just got to learn a little bit. Anyway, Jared and I did a little bit of reading there, and we've got pressure. Let me reach over and turn this off. One of the tips I would give you, and what we had done, we just had house water in our tanks. We hadn't mixed up our spray yet, so we weren't wasting our Roundup. Anytime you start fooling with your spray tanks like this for the first time, put water in it. Do not put any chemicals in it until you have got everything running. And hey, it's kind of been a headache here this year a little bit, but it looks like we're going to be up and running and get some stuff sprayed, get our grass sprayed, get our weeds killed, and hopefully as the summer progresses here, guys, we're going to really try to get after our stickers problem this year. And this tank's going to help us. It's got a 10-foot boob on it, and this tank came from Tractor Supply, guys. We bought it a couple years ago for spraying our food plots back home in Mississippi, and we pulled it off the shelf, and it looks like we're going to have her up and running this year. So guys, hey, if you're interested in one of these tanks, this is the 40-gallon tank setup. It's got the 10-foot boom on it, so you can cover about 10 feet. Anyway, they got them at Tractor Supply. And well, guys, as always, we appreciate y'all watching. another late night here at Red River Living. And as always, we'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.